Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener. Welcome to the OCG Fam Show to you, my YouTube buddies. What's going on? Let me know in the comments. I'm sorry I'm a day late getting this out to you. I had a little dental procedure on Monday, I think it was, and I thought gonna be no big deal, but I get in there, what I got going, there's a tooth here, had a crack in it, and they said, can't be saved, it's gotta go. We're gonna have to take that one out, put a new one in with an implant. So basically what happened was the doctor got in there with a chisel, and he put it, I'm upside down, and he got a chisel in my mouth. Then he takes a hammer down, clunk, 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 kung, kung, kung. So I didn't recover as quickly as I had hoped, so that's why the show is a day late. We're doing the Comprehensive Feeding Regimen. It's here. It's exciting. What's going on? It's finally done. It's finally done. Well, it's not done. We're going to have it done by the end of this week, maybe Monday of next week. But what we've got going is we've got all of the Nectar for the Gods products listed here with the amounts and that whole thing. So the stuff we've been talking about, Comprehensive Feeding Regimen, Medusa's Magic, Gaia Mania, Herculean Harvest, Olympus Up. I'm going fast because we've gone through this before. Zeus Juice, Athena's Aminas, Demeter's Destiny. Got all those on there. So what we did, we got this chart, is we went over to talk to Scott Ostrander, Big Kahuna at Nectar for the Gods, about how we use this thing. So watch that video, and after you get done, don't hang up, don't leave the show, because I'm going to show you how to get a bargain on all this stuff, plus get all the stuff in the bag, plus the little kit. A lot of them have a little sticker on them, not all of them. I ran out of stickers. Watch the video. Here we go. You ready, right?
I think this is it.
All right. Hey there, Bob from Oregon's Constant Gardener here with the Big Kahuna, Scott Ostrander, and the little Kahuna, Jubee. Jubee, what's going on?
What up?
So, we've been working on the Comprehensive Feeding Regimen. We've discussed every single nutrient in the line that we're using in this. And so now we got to talk about how much of them to use. We have prepared this feeding regimen. I want to ask you about this. So, you know, it has these amounts on here. 1 teaspoon, 1 tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. Oh, how'd you come up with all this?
We didn't. Figment of your imagination.
It does not exist.
These are not the dilution rates you were looking for.
So if you didn't come up with it, how did you acquire it?
We acquired this through our customer base. And this would be our average of what happens. When you get one of our feeding schedules, what you're seeing is we put it out there to about 100 growers 10 years ago and said, hey, play with this line, tell us what works for you, run it a few rounds, and just give us your recipes. We took this, you know, we ended up probably getting maybe like 55, 60 actual feeding schedules back. And we got this off of an average.
Okay.
So when we look at these things, and you should look at these things the same way, this is a recommendation of what the average of at least 60 growers did.
Okay.
But it is only more, that. Some did less. Yeah, well, that's it. And this is off of these, so a lot of people even, you know, manipulate these numbers throughout the cycle.
So it's a starting point that won't totally pooch you, that you can work from.
No, and what I always recommend to folks is, you know, start this at half strength.
Okay.
No matter what. I mean, if you got a brand new plant, you don't know what it's doing, you don't know its nuances on what it likes to eat, how much it likes to eat, start at half strength and increase it, because you can always add more, but you can never take it away.
Right. Sure.
And then just slowly increase throughout the cycle. So if you start at 1 teaspoon, half teaspoon, you do that for a week, everything looks great, the plant looks happy, then bump them. Bump them.
So we're trying to push till we're a little bit past what we need.
Well, there's guys who double all this from start to finish. So just know that there's a handful of people, at least 33.33%, are at double, 33 or half, and 33 are.
I gotcha.
So this is literally the average.
And it was all over the place when you got the things back? Within a range?
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. People understood the NPK, how those worked. And so they knew that, you know, Medusa's primarily going to be used in the growth period.
Right.
We're going to use that to push. So if you needed more nitrogen, you needed more growth, pushing the Medusa is going to allow you, you know, upping that past the 2 teaspoons.
Right.
Increasing that to 3 to 4 teaspoons while keeping everything else lower. We'll give you the nitrogen you need without overdosing them with too much phosphorus, too much potassium, too much, you know, trace mineral.
Okay.
And then, you know, as you get into the bloom cycle,
everything starts going more.
More of it. I mean, if you're 3 years old and I put down a little bowl of oatmeal, that's going to be a half a cup of oatmeal.
Right.
So if I put that down in front of you now,
So it's not just the veg to bloom ratio, it's that the plant is much larger.
The root ball's this, it's not this. The plant is this, it's not this. So as it gets bigger, the demand's going to go up, the nutritional needs are going to go up, and the aggressive feeding is going to go up. So you kind of have to chase your plant and its hunger.
Because even if you were at 1 teaspoon, you're going to be using more water at this point. So naturally, you're going to be using more. But above and beyond that, you're using more because of the flowering. Is that what I'm getting at?
Well, the plant's putting a bunch of energy into reproduction. Right. And in doing so, you need to be able to feed that need of energy. And so by giving it more nutrition, it can use that to make more flowers, more sites, more oil, more whatever the plant is actively doing. This is just creating the level, or this is giving it what it needs to create those enhancements.
Okay. And then I noticed everything's teaspoons except the Athenas and the Herculean Harvest, which are, you get into the tablespoons in those. Why are those more than the other ones?
Again, because the plant's maturing, it's producing a lot more cells, it's multiplying at a greater rate, so we need to have more amino acids and more calcium to make that happen, and the calcium phosphate in Herculean Harvest is going to help with the flower size, the flower sites, and the calcium phosphorus there is also going to be producing more oil, and by increasing all of those, as the plant is getting bigger, you're going to be able to aid in creating more of all of it, more flowers, more oil, more active. So as you increase, that's what you're going to notice is more production in the plant.
Okay.
This number here again is, that's 2 tablespoons. In mid-flowering, you can easily get up to 4. You can most likely get up to 6. Sticking with 2 is going to end up really nice, but you're probably going to want to add more to that.
Okay, and then I also noticed that you're creeping up with the pH. Is that just about varying the pH, or does it actually need a different pH as it gets into a flowering stage?
It's just, we have a 6.3 to 6.8 in the flowering cycle, and that's a huge that's a huge variance.
And you're meant to use that, right? You want to go back and forth. You don't want to be exactly halfway in the middle. That variance is so that you can
just
up and down.
Don't overcorrect it. If you this time feed in at 6.4, go for it. If it's 6.6 next time, go for it. If it's 6.3 next time, go for it. Basically, we're trying to get different forms of calcium to enter the plant by different pH levels. The reason why it increases is because the demand for calcium and phosphorus goes up during the bloom cycle, and in our forms of calcium that we're delivering is a calphos that needs a higher pH to be available to the plant. So we start increasing our pH in the flowering cycle to make sure more bone meal is getting into the plant. In the earlier cycle, 6.1 to 6.3, it's because we're trying to get more phosphorus into the root zone to develop root mass, which will have a pH of 5.9 to 6.0, and then nitrogen proteins are more available in the 5.9, 6.2 range. So we just went with a 6.1 to just kind of say, if you're in that range, you're going to get all the proteins and phosphorus to develop roots and get the nitrogen into the plant for growth.
So in addition to more variability needed at the end here, also you are bringing up, as a whole, the pH level slightly to get those. Okay.
And then just keeping your eyes on things like your slurry. I mean, in your little guide, it spells it all out if you actually do read.
Yeah.
This gives you a lot of information on what to look for, how to slurry test your soil, how to double check to make sure your plant is eating what you're giving them, checking your parts per million. We're more concerned about the parts per million in our soil than we are of the nutrient solution.
Okay.
It's the only time I really even check my nutrient solution is when I have an issue. I mix up a batch, I find out what I had at parts per million. Then I do a quick slurry, and it's like, well, if I've been feeding at 1,200 parts per million and the soil's at 9, it's not eating it. So now I'm going to kind of figure out why it's not eating it. I do a flush, a corrective flush, reset the root zone, get it down to that 250 to 400 mark, and then start feeding again.
So it's just a diagnostic, having it kind of mapped out in your head if you have a problem. Otherwise, it's pretty much about getting your soil and having it in a good spot.
Yep.
I think that covers it. Does that cover it?
I think so. If not, they're going to ask questions and we'll do a question later. Yeah, sure.
Great.
There you go.
Okay. That's that. Okay, that was fun. I hope you found that enjoyable and informative. Now I'm going to talk to you about how to get the kit and save some money. Here's what's going on. You go to the website. There's a link down below, or just go to OCGFAM330.com. And it's the Nectar for the Gods Comprehensive Feeding Regimen. Regular one, if you bought all this stuff, it'd be separate, it'd be $167. But you buy it all together, $153. So you get a little discount. Plus, you can still use your discount code to save 20% off that. Fam Summer. Use your discount code, 20% on top of that. To get all this, you get the Medusas, the Gaia, the Herculean Harvest, the Olympus Up, the Zeus Juice, the Athena's Aminas, the Demeter's Destiny, gallons of these 2 quarts of the rest, because you're going to need more of these 2 of the Herc and the Athenas. And you're also going to get the feeding chart. It's got a little, most of them have a little sticker on them. Ran out a little sticker. Some people may not get a sticker, but you're going to get everything else. And then you get this bag on top of that. Let me show you what's in the bag. A lot of good stuff in the bag. I'm going to pour it out here. This is pretty much all the stuff that plays well with Nectar. You got your Photo Plus Microbe Life. You got your SLF 100. Newton's makes that stuff for us. Full on stuff that Rob makes and Mike. You get all three of the microbial products from Culture Biologics, Dr. Root, and a veg and a bloom tea, and just got these in, Bigfoot granular mycorrhizas. So you get a lot of little goodies with it. I think it's a pretty good deal if you want to join the club, or if you want to, get started with this stuff. A lot of you are probably already using it, don't need this, but if you're just getting started, this is a good way to get started. So anyway, I'm selling. I don't need to sell you. It's good stuff. Try it out or don't. I love you, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. We're going to get after, you know what we're going to do? We're going to be talking tomorrow about, I think, the cultured stuff. We'll have Tim here talking about cultured biologics, how it fits in with this all stuff, and adding to this feeding regimen, making it a little longer. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. For more information about anything on today's show, go to our website, OCGFAM.com. And if you buy anything while you're there, use the code FAMSUMMER. It's going to save you 20%, and it's a lot of fun. The OCG Fam Show, it's pretty good. It happens every day. It's the OCG Fam Show. See you tomorrow.
I like Bob. My breath smells like buttholes and chicken shit. Because those are the two things I eat the most.